So what do we have here? Two ride-ons. Two broken ride-ons. Well, this one here is my father's one, and he went and bought himself a new one. Yeah, he was sick of it. In fact, this one is slightly different from mine. It came with the smaller 18 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine, which is kaput. So that's probably the main difference between his and mine, which has got the Kawasaki engine in it. But as you can see, this one's missing a diff. The reason for that is we actually put it in this one a week or so ago, because the diff in this one broke. It's sitting up here. I do have a little bit of footage, but unfortunately I lost most of the footage of that one. Well, it's dark. 4-hour job. Swap the axle out, or swap the diff out, I guess. Put it in. The transfer cable. I likely will pull that diff apart and see what's that hydrostatic drive apart and see what the story is with it, why it's broken. But anyway, the next job is actually going to pull the whole steering caboodle off this one and put on my one, because my last sort of fix hasn't really worked. It's bent a few more things, and it's just a mess. And so the steering on my old dad's one is good as gold, and so we'll do a whole steering swap, the whole lot, and put it on my one and get my one going again. There's just too much play, and it's play everywhere all the way along, and it just yeah, the wheels just bow out and it can't steer. So yeah, so that's the next job. So all that work of swapping the steering mechanism from my dad's one to my one didn't work. So all I can say about that is my little fix that I did wasn't the whole problem. It seems to be this front left wheel. I'm not sure, but I'll show you. We'll take it for a drive, and you guys see what you think. There we go. This wheel's out, this wheel's straight. And I don't understand why. So what I think I'm going to do is swap this whole wheel over. So get the wheel off this one, complete pin all the way down. Take that whole thing off. You can put on this one. I think that should be a pretty simple job. It's just a matter of taking this off, undoing the bolts, slipping the whole thing down. That's what I'm hoping. So this is Reese's old Rideon. He doesn't use it anymore because it's only a side discharge, and he likes to catch his lawn clippings to make his lawn very nice. And as you can see here, this Rideon has only one steering arm coming forward and then a cross member. And so that's what we'll do on my one to correct the problem we've got with the steering. I've looked at another couple of brand new ones on the market, and they seem to be doing the same thing, so seems to be the way to do it. So the plan to fix this is to actually weld an L bracket in here coming forward, and then obviously a tie rod across to the other side. The same thing here, an L bracket that goes down the swing and comes forward, so the two wheels will be then tied together. So with some help of YouTube magic, here we are, the brackets welded on, still very hot, and so that one should work, and I've got the other one here as well. So this is the wheel goes on here, and that's the piece that goes up into the axle. So I just need to bore some holes in here the right size and then make a tie rod across. So there we go, we've got the new added brackets welded on. So now it's just a matter of making a tie between them. And the reason why I did it forward instead of backwards is because we've got this brace here for the front of the mower deck that would get in the way if we did backwards instead of forwards. So that's why it sticks forwards. There's heaps of room up here. There's no issue about anything across here catching it, it'll be fine. I think that will work quite well. I'm just going to tack it up a little bit more than what it is. It's probably not very strong at the moment. I've only put 2 tacks on there, so I might do a couple more tacks on the other side, and then give it a whirl and see if it works before I completely weld this up. Right, let's see how she goes. Looking good. Needs some grease. Awesome. Beautifully fixed. Oh, best it's ever been. So I was able to mow the lawns last night, no problems at all with the steering. So that fix with a tie across the front there worked well. The only thing I really need to do now on this is to paint the welds that I've done, otherwise it will probably rust. So the question is, how long should a ride-on last? I've had this ride-on 11 years, but it also hasn't just been doing my lawn. So my lawn takes about an hour, but Reese also borrows it every couple of weeks to do his lawn as well. So it's been doing double the amount of lawns in that 11 years. So you could say it's lasted 22 years, maybe. Well, what has really gone wrong with this ride-on? Well, we'll just hop over to my dad's one here. He's been quite lucky. The only thing that he really has failed on him is the main bearings down here that he replaced, and the engine, when the engine's only just recently failed. And so on my one, I haven't actually done these main bearings, but I've done this pulley, the bearing in that pulley, the bearing in that pulley, underneath, this pulley, this pulley, this pulley, and I've also done the main bearing up in here. The main bearing coming out of the motor I've done as well. And I've had rust around this area down here that I've had to weld up, in fact on both sides. Now, the reason why I think all those bearings have failed in the time is because I washed my ride-on very well at the beginning, and all those bearings, to be fair, failed in the first couple of years, and I believe it's because I washed it, and that's also why I think it rusted out, because I kept washing it, cleaning it. My dad never did that, so his one lasted a little bit longer. So you could say half the reason why certain bits on the ride-on broke is because I washed it. What else has failed? Well, if you have a look back here, that there, it's not factory. This is reinforcing bar. This whole thing inside here is I've made up after the one that was in here basically was too light and it just bent up, and I straightened it out and then it would bend again and straighten it out. So a heavier one of those would be better. The seat, as you can see, the seat, I've taped mine up, but again, if you look at Dad's one, no cracks, no blemishes at all, still good condition. I'm going to stick this seat on my one. I guess the big main failure on my one has been the hydrostatic drive, this thing here. So this is not the first time this has come out. The first time I had an oil leak in here and it slowly dripped out. This is probably about 3 years after I got it. These are a torque turf static drive. They're actually installed in about 80% of all ride-ins in the world. So, you know, they think they probably do a pretty good job. It's very lucky you can get parts, and I stripped this down, put new seals at both ends, and put oil back in it, and away it went. No problem at all. So I have no idea what's broken this time. It's obviously something quite serious. I'm actually quite keen to pull this apart, have a look what's the problem. So that's probably the biggest thing. The engine of mine, I've never had any problems with the Kawasaki engine, so that's gone well. Never had a problem starting. I do notice it's got a small oil leak at the front, but it's not enough to worry about it really. And of course, the steering. And I think a lot of that is an age thing. It's just everything's loose, and even though I fixed it the first time, even with all the replacement parts from my dad's ride-on who had no problem steering, it's still a problem, but I believe that's all fixed now. The only problem with the fix I've got is it doesn't turn as tight as it did previously, so the turning radius is not as good, but I can live with that. It's fine. So I guess again is 11 years. Has it been a good ride-on? I felt like I've always been fixing little bits and pieces on it. Would I buy another one of this type? No. In fact, I've already bought my next lawnmower, and hopefully you guys get to see it on the channel. I plan to do a review on it, so stay tuned and watch this space.